Here begins the traverse of the Jarbidge crest. Jarbidge settlement is somewhere down in Jarbidge Canyon down there. Very hazy from wildfire. From California, I believe. Cloudless, beautiful day. Nice and cool and breezy up here, comparatively speaking. Got Bald first, and then Jarbidge Peak itself, which is not the high point. Do have occasional white pines up here. They ain't doing too well though. Pretty hard to grow in talus as a tree. Seen some hints of the alpine Gaium rossii. See what else is ahead. No summit register up here, nothing. No one comes up here. It's Jarbidge right there. Jarbidge next. No garbage in the Jarbidge. So much haze, can't even see the Independence Range to the west. It's a bit more like the Matterhorn now. Still totally doable, it looks like. Here's the view from Jarbidge. You can call it that. It's haze obscured. It's north, Idaho, flat deserts. There's a proper box and everything up here for sign-in purposes. I've looped quite a bit through this place now, from way in the southern end down through these valleys. That's the East Fork Valley of the Jarbidge, wrapped around the north tablelands that fall into Idaho. That Jarbidge Canyon looks so beautiful. How do they even fit a settlement in there? Must be a wider part higher up here. I'm not seeing. Then I came up the Jack Creek Valley and up to the high ridge of the Jarbidge now. Now it's time to hit the next three peaks. There's a little bit of garbage here on Jarbidge. Some garbage. Jarbidge. A little bit more garbage in the Jarbidge. Garbage in the Jarbidge. Garbage in the Jarbidge. Garbage on Jarbidge. Some garbage on Jarbidge Peak. Freaking garbage. Shouldn't be any garbage in the Jarbidge. More garbage in the Jarbidge. Garbage in the Jarbidge. Garbage in the Jarbidge. Garbage. Next peak ahead, called Jumbo. Obviously not above the tree line here. It doesn't really exist here, I suppose. I'm sure it has an alpine feel, based on the rather unvegetated summits and ridgelines. Lots of evidence of humans along this ridge somehow, some way. Quite a few cairns and such. It's Jarbidge Peak back there. Jumbo Peak ahead. Just remarking to myself how I haven't seen a hint of limestone in this entire range. which is pretty unlike Nevada in general. The other high ranges that I've been to have all had a lot of limestone, ruby snakes, etc. Just passed over Jumbo Peak. Next one is Square Top. Matterhorn is next. Looks fine. Some vestigial lakes tucked up against the ridge here. Surely this was a big laked-in basin back in the day. Same with the other ones, closely adjoining the ridge. Coming up to the Matterhorn, not a ton of plant diversity up here. There's more lichen species than plant species, so plenty of else to keep me occupied though. Doesn't really resemble a Matterhorn, except in that they're both triangular summits. But it's a decent enough name, appropriate enough appellation of the high point of the Jarbidge. That's Cougar beyond. I suppose I have to go over that one too. I don't feel even remotely like I'm in the Swiss Alps. No, I feel like I'm right where I am. This clear bluebird Nevada skies, except for the wildfire hazes that like to come through in the summertime. Looks so clear and blue here, and then look out in any direction and it's almost impossible to see anything. So I know I'm covered in haze here too, and breathing it in with all the other animals. So what's growing on the height of the Jarbidge? Some cespitose Erigerons, past prime. Some scandent ribes. You'll often see scandent ribes on these higher rocky summits. And not of a heck of a lot else. Occasional white pines. Occasional micranthes. Lots of lichen. You liking all that lichen? It's a little cliffy here. These are micranthes. Saxifrages. One of the most common things up here. Saxifrages being a group of rock lovers, whether it's desert or tundra. Between, it's a summit up there, there's a distinct white post. Someone's lugged up onto all these mountains posts and mailboxes. Someone really loves this area. Got mailboxes to hold the trail registers, summit registers rather. Someone loves this place so much they brought them onto all the summits. That's the way ahead. That's Cougar Peak, which we saw from below Emerald Lake last, or thereabouts. Here we are, above all in the Jarbidge. Ridge looks a bit tougher. Precipitous drop-offs to the north. That doable ridge I just took. About to get engulfed in haze here. Meaning the sun's about to become orange. Mary's Peak in the distance. Mary River Peak, whatever the hell it's called. It's an extraordinary place, a bit beyond words. Lots of insect life. Very active throughout this entire trip, really. It's uncanny to see it here at 11,000 feet or so. See them all? Little buzzies. Lots of black flies and ladybugs and such. We did see some circumboreal stuff in the subalpine. Fireweed. Not much flowering, so I didn't really describe it. Pistorta. But I haven't seen any of the same elements in the alpine. Silenia cullis, for example, which definitely occurs in Nevada. Seems to be totally absent from here. I was expecting much colder mountains beforehand. Thought I had seen more collections of tundra type stuff made out here. Not a lot of volcanic alpine endemics either. Reminds me of the San Juans scenery wise and geologically, but botanically hasn't given rise to the same amount of alpine endemism as you get in the San Juans, for example. Still a mighty fine place, obviously, nonetheless. No saxifraga either. Some of this stuff may occur on jagged seeps and other harder to access places. Who knows? There's a lot to be known about the Jarbidge still, I would say. What a vast place. Vast and rugged. Deep canyons, high jagged peaks. It's got a lot to offer. Kind of just been realizing this today, that this high ridge connects all the way back with Mary River Peak. We're not going to go that far because I want to enjoy some of the lower trails back that I haven't walked yet. And I want to come back from Mary River. It looks like there's a lot of potentially exciting stuff up there. It's almost as tall as Matterhorn and quite volcanic and vast. Look at the thing. Cougar looked doubtful at times from below, but from above it's clear that it's quite a gently west-sloping ridge to the peak. And similar to Matterhorn, the cliffs are all on the north and east faces and sides. Back to the land of a lot of the more common subalpine species. Eremogone land, a lot of it's toasted up here actually. Dries out a lot quicker up here than some of the lower but hotter slopes. Lots of Eremogone. Compared to most traverses I brought you on, this one is very popular. Probably because it's short and high mountain. It doesn't require ropes. Even though it's so remote, clearly a lot of people come here. It's a fairly well-worn track oftentimes, although less so after Matterhorn. Tons of cairns and very new mailboxes on every summit with very new looking posts. Lots of Ivesea. and some cespitose Eriogonum as well. Fairly common in the subalpine zones in the Jarbidge with the Eremogones there. Very common species all right here. Not common elsewhere, but common here. Micranthes. Rock lovers. Cespitose Eriogonum. Eremogone. Doing well in the shaded places. All species. You'd almost think all the insects were pollinating the pines if you didn't know better. Some of them are still fertile. It was rather windy earlier. Quite the ashen glow out there. Pretty rocky and slim here. Hope it's over soon. The sun's about to go away. It's already feeling dark with all the haze, to be certain. Going up Cougar right now. Probably camping on that other ridge of it. Matterhorn, quite ominous to the north. Here well after sunset. Hoping to camp just on the next saddle below. There's a lone white bark up here on Cougar Peak. No mailbox on this one. There was way less of a track up here, so it doesn't surprise me. There is a nice pole still. Slept here on Government Peak last night. It's an extremely hazy morning. There's Cougar and Matterhorn and the rest, all the way back to Jarbidge. Following the ridge just a tiny bit longer, definitely not all the way up to Mary's River. There's a little Jarbidge Lake down there. Scarcely call it a lake. I'm going to connect with the trail as it goes over this ridge and down to Jarbidge Lake. And I'll be back on the trail system and heading out. One thing interesting is, I don't know where the dividing line is between the two major river basins. The Great Basin and the Snake River Basin, for that matter. In that direction, because Mary's River slopes off precipitously. Divide must be a lot lower. That's quaint Jarbidge Lake. I guess one of only two lakes out here, Emerald and Jarbidge. Neither of which are very big. Neither of which will be here forever. This appears to be the divide back into the Great Basin. I think all waters that way flow into Mary River. There's Mary's River Peak right there. Jarbidge Lake, of course, is a source water for the Jarbidge River. Down below there. So the divide over here is rather aloof from Mary's River Peak. It's just a quaint quaint saddle with associated rocky peaks. That is the start of the Jarbidge River right there, one start of it. It's hard to tell what's going on with the skies today, whether it's completely clear and heavily hazy, or whether there's any clouds in that haze. Last day in the Jarbidge today, for this year at least. Be cool to have a thunderstorm or two. I guess I see wisps of clouds out there towards the rubies and such. Remains to be seen. For now it's a very warm morning, especially for the elevation, 10,000 feet. Shorts and t-shirt and feeling warm even on the downhills. Just crossed back into the Great Basin. Towards home. Technically live in the Colorado Basin, but gotta do a whole lot of driving through the Great. Descended from Jarbidge Lake area all the way to this tributary of the Mary. About to head southwards here over this ridge, crossing into the Mary proper. Heading southwards, crossing a couple divides, various tributaries of Mary River. So, therefore, just contouring along the steppe for now. Trail's in okay shape. Just descended this valley, still am, but about to hook up with the main fork of the Mary, which comes out of Mary River Peak. Suffered a total blowout. There's a few white pines left, so that pitch that I just picked up may just be enough to get me the 6 or so miles back to the car. It's walkable even with the blowout. It's certainly a lot better if it's not flapping around with each step. Back at the Mary River. Coming out of Mary's River Peak. Now I'm just following this down to where it connects with the East Fork, which is where I left it. I believe this is actually the West Fork, which is strange because they're both West and East Forks are geographically basically in a very similar area. And yeah, I'm parked several more miles beyond. Parked along but above the Mary. Extensive steps of tablelands. So, I guess it's all downhill from here. So, that's the valley of the East Fork ahead to the left, which means the loop is completed, or a loop is completed. And unless something strange happens, I think this is goodbye for now.